Hi, my name is Audrey DeAngelis. I'm the public historian here at Oatlands. And if you've been on one of my tours, you've heard me talk about how very well connected the Eustis family was. Edith and William bought Oatlands in 1903 as a vacation home. But it was only recently that I just started to look into Edith's sisters. She's the oldest of 5 daughters, and Lena was born just a year after Edith in 1875. Now, unfortunately, Lena died in 1904 after an operation for appendicitis resulted in septicemia, blood poisoning, which was far from uncommon in a time before antibiotics. After her death, newspapers described Lena's best qualities. One, the Buffalo Illustrated Times, in 1905, the year after her death, said that because of her gentle disposition and sweet womanly qualities, she was her father's favorite daughter. And I think if you had actually asked Levi Morton, he would say he didn't have a favorite, that he loved all his daughters equally. So I doubt that he ever really said that to a reporter. But the same article went on to say that Miss Morton was fond of sport and was an accomplished horsewoman, like many of the members of both the Morton and Eustis families. Now, a few months before that, in 1904, just about the time that she passed, the Brooklyn Daily Times actually reprinted an article from Paris. It said, Miss Morton was a very great favorite in society wherever she went. Both here and in America, she was a leading spirit in all society functions. She was very fond of yachting and assisted Cornelius Vanderbilt Jr. sail the yacht Nita during some yacht races in 1899. Again, very well-connected family. But it was a few years before Lena's death that an article was published which I think is the most interesting. This was in the Boston Globe in January of 1902. The article itself begins, His Royal Highness Prince Victor Emmanuel of Savoy, Count of Turin, first cousin of the King of Italy, is coming to visit. Goes on to say that Prince Victor Emmanuel first met Miss Morton, Lena, during his famous visit to America in 1898. He spent nearly the whole summer in Newport, attending picnics and balls and all sorts of parties. It sounds like everybody loved him. Apparently, while he was in Newport, though, he was very attentive to Miss Julia Dent Grant, granddaughter of the great general, Ulysses S. Grant, and it was even reported that he was about to become engaged to her. Except Miss Grant instead married a Russian prince instead of an Italian one. The Buffalo Illustrated Times that I mentioned really summed up the gist of the Boston Globe's article. Prince was greatly enamored of her, Lena, and despite the protests of the king, had announced his intention of renouncing his claims to the throne and asking Miss Morton's hand in marriage. Well, our Edith married a man with a banker's fortune. Helen, the third Morton daughter, married a French duke, although the marriage was rather short and unhappy. Alice, the fourth daughter, married Winthrop Rutherford, possibly society's most eligible bachelor, and a man who deserves his own video. Even so, to marry a prince would have easily been the most prestigious of all the marriages in the family. But hold that thought, because we're going to have some more family connections coming in future videos.